Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? Or are you going to Croden's christening? Wherever you do, make sure you view Nik Nak's Christmas message on YouTube. Have you got 70's number to call and borrow his Christmas jumper? He'll maybe say yes, he'll maybe say no. If not, you can always call the blow. Here Maguire is looking rather tatty as he goes to visit Santa Claus. He's having lots of fun with Pam and Watty. Now give them all a big round of applause. Later on, we'll conspire along with Cronin and Maguire. You may be at home or you may be afar, drinking in the pub and Temple Bar. Good afternoon, Jones, and a very happy Christmas to you all, and a happy Christmas also to each of your wags as well, and to your mags and your dags. If I come and think of a happy Christmas to the bag, if he's watching as well. Anyway, Jones, before I begin this year's Christmas message, I have an ancient biblical tale to tell yous. When I say ancient, I don't mean it's not that ancient, you understand. In fact, this story just happened a week past last Sunday, so it did. But it tells the tale of three wise men who were following, well, when I say wise, you know, they weren't that wise either. Neither they were. In fact, there's Maguire, McGumph and Tarby we're talking about here. Anyway, Johns, these three wise men, they were following this bright, shiny star to New Mains, and it was leading them to this newborn child. Wonder who that could be. Anyway, Johns, the star stopped right above the Newer Hill Club, and all three wise men took it as a sign and decided to step inside and partake of the wine, which they duly did. And lo, as they stood at the bar, from behind a bright heavenly figure appeared unto them, and when they looked round, they saw this tall figure with a bushy beard, dressed in white robes. Now, I know what he's thinking, no, it was Woody had come to join them, but he hadn't come to join them, John. Woody's up Malmo soon as this weather. No, this was the Lord God himself, and he appeareth unto them, saying, Peace be with these Johns. To which all three wise men responded, And with your spirit, Lord. And he continued, As the Father sent me, so I am sending you. But before I do, I have a question to ask each of you. And so he began by turning to McGumph and saying, Stephen, son of Pat, do you love me? Well, McGumph looked horrified at this point, and he turned round and he says to the Lord, Of course I love you, Father. Sure, what kind of a question is that? Replied the Lord, before turning on to Maguire and saying, Francis, son of Joe, do you love me? Well, Maguire also looked aghast, and said unto the Lord, Of course I love you, Father. What kind of a question is that? Sure, I am the son of a passkeeper at the cathedral. How can I not love you? Replied the Lord, before turning unto Tarby, and saying to him, Kevin, son of Henry, do you love me? Well, Tarby looked pretty angry at this point, and he replied, saying, Of course I love you, Lord. What kind of a question is that? Sure, I used to be an altar boy at St Mary's in Cleland donkeys years ago. How can I not love you? Quite frankly, Lord, you have offended me, so you have. Replied the Lord, before turning round to each of them and saying, But see if he's loved me that much. He's going to say to Nik Nak, they gave me a wee mention in his Christmas speech this year. Every year he broadcasteth on my birthday, and not once would he think of giving thy a mention. Well, there you go. A message from the Lord. So, Johns, I feel as though I can't even begin this year's Christmas message without a wee toast to the Lord himself. So I know you'll all want to raise your glasses, raise all black stuff, and join me in saying happy birthday, Jesus. Cheers, Johns. There you go, an excuse for a pint. Anyway, Johns, very happy Christmas to yous on this festive day. A day when we all gather together with our loved ones to exchange presents and tell them how much we love them, and then keep the receipts in the following day, take the presents back to the shops again. For vouchers or for cash refund preferably. Anyway, Johns, it's also a time for reflecting and looking back on the year that's passed, and what a year we have had this year. What a year I've had personally and myself. I don't know if I tell any of you this, but a couple of months ago I was pretty honoured, so I was, to say the least. I was at a lavish ceremony up in the Cleland Club called the Laughter Awards. Now I know what you are thinking. I know it's, but no, it's not funny ha 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 laughter. This is the Lanarkshire Academy of Film and Television, and they recognised my Christmas speeches over the years and gave us this little award here. Do you see it? This tiny little smidgen of an award. You really need to have good eyesight to see it. But this little award here that's I've been awarded for my services to broadcasting, soon I have. And it was a star-studded event, it really was. The creme de la creme of Scottish entertainment were on show. They were all present on the night. We had Paul Coyer, he was presenting it. We had that Egypt Andy Cameron, I didn't realise he was still on the go. He was there. We had Una McLean. Something we did. Una McLean, Johns, true Scottish showbiz legend. She was there. And then, of course, sitting up the front on the night was Mr. Johnny Beattie, as he always is in these occasions, sitting up the front, that is. And that Pillock Tam Cowan, he was there. I don't like him neither a day. Bloody arsehole, so he is. Anyway, Johns, the Academy decided to honour my achievements in the broadcasting industry. Now, they had hired Fran and Anna to present me with the award, but unfortunately, Fran and Annabelle, they couldn't make it on the night, because they're dead, that's why. So instead, Johns, they got Mr. Johnny Beattie to come up and present me with that wee award that you've just seen there. And Mr. Beattie said that it was an honour to be in my company, and how he had enjoyed my Christmas speeches over the years, and he was looking forward immensely to this year's broadcast, and in particular also the mid-year shows that I've been doing for, Mick's wedding, for example, and Tarby's 40th this year. So I felt as though, well, I had a pretty extensive knowledge of all the library at Nik Nak television, so I thought, this guy's done his homework here, so he has. In turn, I made an acceptance speech thanking the Academy for the award, and also saying that I just felt, personally, it was a sad indictment at the state of Scottish broadcasting whenever they were presenting me with an award, when all these poor people of Lanarkshire and beyond were having to tune into my shite every year. And I also said it was a sad indictment at Scottish broadcasting that I had to make my own television, because the main TV was that pish. It was. So I don't know if my acceptance speech went down that well, but in these occasions you have to speak your minds when you do. So that was my own personal achievements this year. Of course, I'm not the only John that's had a fantastic year. Oh no. This was also the year when Tarby. When Tarby moved out from Anne and Henry's bosom. So they did. After 40 years in God's green earth, he finally moved out the family home and shacked up with Donna in Uddingston. And the pair of them have a lovely wee Desres over there. They really do, Johns. I don't know if he's been to it yet. If not, then fingers crossed he's getting an invite in 2014. But I've been and it's lovely. But Tarby's farewell party at Cleland was really the probably topped the Laughter Awards and being like the extravaganza of the year. So there was a huge street party held by Anne and Henry in this Cleland, all down the main street and down the Omagh Road and beyond. There was bands in the streets, there was face painting for the wains, Kelly's had a free pa, there was sausage rolls and vol-au-vents. And then in the middle of it all, I was in need of a single fish. So I thought I'd nip round to Anne Henry's and use her lavatory, because, well, Kelly's was stowed out, so it was. But then I met Anne and Henry's neighbour, and she came out and she said, "Oh, you'll not get in there, son." And she saw that I was fiddling with it. I couldn't get in through the door was locked. She says to my son, she says, "Anne had to change the locks after Tarby left." So I just hope that him and Donna don't have an EastEnders style fallout this Christmas, because see the day Tarby's got nowhere to go, he'll end up shacking with me, so they will. So there you go, that was Tarby's year. Of course, there's been another John who has had a pretty memorable year, but we're not going to get into him right now because we're going to cut for some commercial breaks. But stay tuned, because see, in part 2 we're going to be springing a special surprise on this particular John. So stay tuned, Johns, and I'll see you in a couple of minutes. Tonight on Crime Watch, we'll be needing your help in finding the bastard who stole Collins's bike, pictured here. If you know who took it, please let us know so that we can reunite him with his beloved wee bike. We'll also be asking for your help to track down the tosser who ran amok in St Pat's Cemetery a few months ago, running his fancy motor over some graves, including this one here, leaving a trail of devastation and heartache for the families left behind. The police have released an e-fit of the man that they want to speak to in relation to this incident. Do you know this man? If so, give us a wee call tonight in Crime Watch at 9 o'clock on Nik Nak TV.
Get your mobiles and laptops out. It's in playtime. The latest live odds are on your screen now. What's that? You want another one? Okay then. Remember, Bet365 is all about the in-play. It's all about great odds on over 70 in-play markets. And have you tried live streaming yet? You'll love it. Bet365.com. Bet in play now.
Tender pieces of minced lamb, otherwise known as doner meat, nestled in the bed of freshly baked naan bread. Succulent pieces of clean, crisp, juicy salad, topped with chopped onion and a shiny red tomato, smothered in a coating of spicy chili sauce. This isn't any old kebab, you know, Jones. This is a Curry King's kebab. Curry King's. Bugger the turkey.
Every time you look at me, I go really, really red.
Thank you for showing me that it's okay to be weird.
She's the most positive, energetic, crazy person.
You're always there for me, despite the arguments, the fights.
This is for Andrea, my old art teacher.
My little brother Dante.
Jamie.
I'm going to share this coat with Megan. I'm going to share this coat with Holly, and that's Holly, and I'm Megan. And that's Megan.
I would like to share a Coke with some of my best friends as well, including this lot here, except for the bag, because he's an arsehole. Cheers anyway. Strictly John's Dancing, Boxing Day at 6:30 on Nik Nak TV. Welcome back to my Christmas message 2013. By the way, please, Johns, don't take any offence if I didn't share a Coke with yous there, but only had a tenner on me at the time, and they wee bottles of Coke cost a bucking fortune, so they do. Only had enough money on me to buy 7, but Johns, fear not, if I didn't share a Coke with yous, I promise I'll share a pint with yous in the tavern in Mora. So there, can't say fairer than that, can you? Not if no Nik Nak gets his wallet out, neither it is. Anyway, Johns, as I promised yous in part 1, I have a special surprise now to spring on one of the Johns. There's one poor unsuspecting John out there doesn't have a clue what's about to happen, so now I'll put him out his misery. Michael Cronin, what can we say about you? You were born in 1975, you attended St Mary's in Cleland, where you met up with other fellow lifes like Kevin Murray, and then you graduated on to Taylor High School, where you met my good self, and then a few years later you graduated on further to Morrison Supermarket, where you became a high-flying executive, starting off to work in the morning with your wee briefcase, ready to tackle all the customer service issues of the day, and not once have we ever heard you moan. Well, maybe a couple of times in the WhatsApp forum, but everybody moans on there, so we'll give you a bye with that, John. Anyway, in the mid-noughties, you met the love of your life and, may I say, my number 1 wag of the year, Karen, who you later married in 2011. And just earlier this year, the pair of yous announced that yous were having a wee baba together, soon you were. Aww. Well, Johns, that baba's still cooking, and so far it hasn't made its way into the world. So hopefully that will give you and your lovely lady Karen a chance to sit down this Christmas Day and enjoy this year's musical extravaganza, which is dedicated to the pair of yous. Yes, Johns, your fellow Johns, some of your best mates have really stood up to the podium this year. They've pulled out all the stops, John. The bring you a big Christmas production. See, nowadays you used to get your dad or your uncle to write into the Frank Skerritt show, so you did, and they would play a wee request for you, but times have changed, Mick, and as you're about to see now, all of the Johns wish you all the very best in the coming days ahead. So I'll not keep you hanging on any longer, Mick, or any of the rest of the Johns who I know are all dying to see this. So here is this year's musical production, otherwise known as Mickade. And may I just say a very happy Christmas once again to you all, and I'll see you all next year. See you later, Johns.
John Dog performs up in the Hebs Club. Maguire buys a kebab after the pub. While in London, Robert's watching porn. This comes to pass when a Cronin's born.
John Hanley works 16 hours a week. If he ups his hours, his benefits will cease. All he does is mow all the parking lot. This comes to pass when a Cronin's born. Malfunction writes a book he calls God King. The book's about the vampires in Carfin, but the sales are shite and Tony seems forlorn. This comes to pass when a crown is born. So repeat the giant hearts ever held. They're not the team who once played in Seville. But our Champions League, our dreams are tossed and torn. This comes to pass when a crow is born. For debate the issues of the day, from the Green Brigade to Tom Daly being gay. All the Johns use words up to mock and scorn. This comes to pass when a crown is born.
And all of this happens, John, while the whole of New Maidens is waiting. They're waiting for a Wayne to be born. A Wayne that nobody knows the colour of. Could be black, white, yellow. Well, it depends. If it was conceived while Mick was in Chiltern, anything's possible. But what we do know is that this Wayne will turn tears to joy and bring great happiness, and hopefully it'll grow up to be a wee silly fan.
Right, it's a wrap. Right, well done. Up.